This is 190 Vision Revisited, where reflection sparks transformation.
Welcome to the Video Review Show. Today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, the whole idea of twin flames, twin rays, and soulmates in relationships.
Yeah, it's a topic that comes up a lot, and we're using a really interesting video from the YouTube channel 190 Vision as our guide today.
Right. We've watched it, pulled out the key ideas so you don't have to sift through everything. We're hoping to unpack what these connections might actually mean for you.
Exactly. The video features Laura and her husband, they call him Coach, from 190 Vision. And Laura kicks it off with a great question, one you've probably asked yourself.
What is it?
Well, basically, what is the difference between a twin flame or twin ray and a soulmate? Have you met yours? Will you? And, can you even have a relationship with them?
Okay, yeah, those are the big questions. Let's start with twin flames or twin rays. The video from 190 Vision says right away, those terms are pretty much interchangeable.
They use them to mean the same thing.
Yeah.
And their whole perspective, it comes from what they call the teachings of the Ascended Masters.
Okay, Ascended Masters. For anyone maybe not familiar with that term, what does the video say they are?
It's interesting how they define it. They describe them as people, individuals who lived on Earth, passed on, and now they offer guidance from a spiritual level.
Like who? Any examples?
Yeah, they mention figures like Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Moses, Elijah, that kind of thing. They even use the example of Jesus calling on Moses and Elijah during the Transfiguration, so it sets a specific spiritual context.
Gotcha. So based on that framework, what about the souls themselves? The video mentioned something about energy, right?
Right. They talk about souls being made of energy and that this energy mirrors God's energy. It connects to being made in God's image.
But not physically.
Exactly. They're clear it's about the energetic or spiritual essence, not our physical looks, which answers that question, why we all look different if we're made in God's image. It's the energy.
Okay, and this ties into how souls are created.
It does. They discuss this teaching that all souls were created by God at the exact same time, all at once.
Which is different from what a lot of people might think. Maybe like souls being created just before we're born.
Yeah, they acknowledge that's a common belief, but this idea of simultaneous creation is sort of central to how they explain twin flames.
All right, so let's get to the core definition then. According to the 190 Vision video, what is a twin flame or twin ray?
Okay, so picture this. One original flame of energy from God, then it's split into two separate souls.
Two halves of a whole.
Kind of, yeah. But they describe it as identical yet opposite charges, like positive and negative on a battery, or yin and yang. There's this inherent need for balance between them.
And the ultimate goal is?
For those two souls, to eventually reunite, to become one again. They even link it to wedding vows, the symbolism of two becoming one, that desire for completion.
Interesting. Okay, so that's the twin flame concept. Now let's shift over to soulmates, as presented in their video. How are they different?
Soulmates are introduced differently. They're souls you've shared many experiences with across different lifetimes.
Okay, so that requires buying into the idea of multiple lifetimes or reincarnation.
Yeah, that's definitely a core part of their explanation for soulmates. It's not about being an identical half like a twin flame.
So what is it about then?
It's more about having a strong frequency match, good resonance, and crucially, similar karma. Experiences and lessons you've sort of agreed to work through together, lifetime after lifetime.
So it's more about a shared journey.
Exactly, a shared journey rather than a shared origin point.
Laura shares a personal story in the video to explain this, right? About her friend.
Yeah, she talks about her close friend Jackie and how Coach, her husband, is also really close to Jackie. He even jokingly calls her his second wife.
Okay. So it shows that deep understanding, that support network, but it doesn't have to be romantic.
Precisely. That's a key point they make. Soulmates can be like your soul family, and you can have many of them, not just one.
And these soulmates could have been different relationships in past lives, like spouses even.
The video mentions that possibility. They could have been family, friends, partners. It's like this intricate web of souls you keep encountering and learning with.
So this leads to an important distinction they make. You could mistake a soulmate for a twin flame.
Easily, yeah, because the connection can feel so deep and familiar. And they suggest that a relationship with a soulmate might actually feel, easier sometimes, more harmonious maybe, than the twin flame journey.
Which brings us back to that big question. How do you know if you've actually met your twin flame? It's not always obvious, is it?
Definitely not. And Laura and Coach share their own experience here. One of them was actually told by someone else, hey, that's your twin flame.
Really? So they didn't just know.
Well, the other one admitted that based just on how things started, they wouldn't necessarily have labeled it that way themselves. It wasn't this instant magical knowing for both, apparently.
It's really honest.
Yeah.
What else did they share about their connection? Something about mirroring each other.
Yes. They mentioned how they often mirror each other's thoughts or, finish each other's sentences, sometimes say the same thing at the exact same time.
Like how twins sometimes have that almost telepathic link.
Kind of like that, yeah. The video suggests that at a certain point in a twin flame connection, that kind of intuitive understanding, maybe even a bit like mind reading, can develop.
Wow. Okay, but the video is careful not to just paint this rosy picture, right? It addresses misconceptions.
Oh, absolutely. They directly tackle the idea that twin flame relationships are automatically perfect and easy. That's a big one they debunk.
Why aren't they always easy then, if they come from the same flame?
Because even though they started together, they go on separate journeys through many lives. They accumulate different karma, different experiences, their vibrations change.
So they might not be on the same wavelength when they meet.
Exactly. They use the analogy of meeting someone and just getting bad vibes or feeling a heavy energy. That could happen even with your twin flame if your frequencies are really different at that point because of your karmic journeys.
So a rough start doesn't mean it's not your twin flame.
Not at all. They stress that. They even share, like we said, that they didn't have this instant strong affinity for each other initially.
So what can change that? Can the connection improve?
Well, they talk about spiritual progress, working on yourself, balancing your own karma, treating others well. That raises your vibration. And as your vibration rises, the connection with your twin flame could potentially become smoother, more harmonious over time.
It's about individual growth impacting the diet.
Precisely. And another interesting point, they raise your twin flame in this life might not even be a romantic partner.
Really? Like who then?
Could be a family member, a sibling, a very close friend. It's not always about marriage or romance, according to their view.
Okay, this ties into what the 190 Vision video says about purpose and karma, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. They really emphasize that maybe being married to your twin flame isn't the main point of this specific lifetime for you.
So the advice is more to focus on your own path, your current situation.
Yeah, focus on your individual purpose, what's right in front of you. And karma plays a huge role in all relationships. If a marriage is rocky, it doesn't automatically mean they're not your twin flame.
It could be karma you need to work through together.
Exactly. Unfinished business, as they put it. If you just break up without resolving things, you might just repeat those patterns in the next relationship. You keep facing the same lesson until you learn it.
But what if you try really hard and the other person leaves anyway?
They address that too. If one person genuinely puts in the work, tries to resolve things, and the other chooses to walk away, the video suggests the karma might be considered balanced for the one who tried. It's nuanced.
Interesting. The video also mentions people asking 190 Vision for guidance on this stuff, right? Like, is this person my twin flame?
Yes, they apparently get asked that, or about compatibility in general. But they're clear the guidance isn't a simple yes or no.
What is it then?
It's more about looking at the energies involved, the potential, the probabilities. Like, what's the likelihood this could develop positively based on the dynamics they see? It's not fortune telling.
And these ideas of soulmates and karma, they apply beyond romance to parents, kids.
Absolutely. Parents and children, students and teachers. The video suggests past life connections and karmic balancing can be happening in all sorts of relationships.
This shared another story, didn't they? About Laura's daughter.
Yeah, her daughter was in medical school facing a really discouraging professor. They apparently helped with the situation energetically. It shows working through challenges with people who might be significant soulmates, even in non-romantic contexts.
But they're careful to say it's not manipulation.
Very careful. They emphasize any spiritual health is about aligning with, God's will, your karma, your dharma, your life path, not forcing things.
Like the example of the tense group dynamic.
Right. They help smooth things out, made interactions less antagonistic, more pleasant. It didn't magically make everyone best friends, but it improved the energy, harmony, not necessarily forced friendship.
So working on relationships, even difficult ones, can be beneficial, even if they don't last forever romantically.
Yeah, it can lead to a more amicable ending, maybe, with that sense of balanced karma, a peaceful resolution.
And the final piece of advice seems really important. Don't get so obsessed with finding the one, the twin flame, that you ignore the relationships you have now.
Exactly. Don't be ungrateful for current connections, because those relationships likely hold really important lessons and karmic opportunities too.
Okay, so wrapping up our look at this 190 vision video, twin flames rays, one soul split in two, destined reunion, intense, maybe challenging.
Right. And soulmates. Different souls, strong frequency match, shared past lives, deep support, working out karma together. Could be many.
It's clear these connections are complex, tied up with individual journeys and shared karma. Lots to think about.
Definitely. We hope this review encourages you to reflect on your own relationships, see what resonates from these ideas.
And if you want to explore more from 190 Vision, check out their Facebook group, 190vision.com, their YouTube channel, Instagram, and even their Amazon Fire channel. Lots of resources there.
So as you think about all this, maybe ask yourself, which concept, that intense pull of a potential twin flame or the deep resonance you feel with a soulmate, feels more true to your own experience? What kind of connection really defines your journey? Something to definitely ponder.